Well, good morning, viewers. Welcome back once again to the channel. Today, we're going to have a little bit of a powwow and a talk about Windows 11 24H2. They finally sent me the update link to it. So, we're going to jump on it. And before we do, make sure you subscribe to the channel and put a like on the video. Let's go ahead and go to the action screen and see what they got cooking. Okay, right here they got me on the update and download and install. I haven't done it yet because I wanted to see what it was all about before I do that. So let's minimize that, and let's go ahead and pop up what I got. Okay, now there's a little thing that's down at the bottom of the Windows 11 thing that says if you want to see what it's about, then you can it'll automatically take you to this page. And before we do this, we're going to have to do one little thing. We're going to have to fix the mouse cursor. So let's go ahead and just fix that really quick so that way you all can see where I'm pointing at. So let's do that. Let's fix it up. Let's minimize it. There we go. And also too, let's minimize my face a little bit. So there we go. Okay. It says the latest Windows 11 2024 update, be 24H2, is all about enhancing connectivity with the introduction of Wi-Fi 7, boosting productivity with the new quick settings and improving accessibility and advancing assistive hearing devices support. Plus, it introduces energy-saving features, extended life battery, that's talking about laptops, reduced energy consumption, and for those eager to embrace the future, it's got design, especially new generation of Copilot PCs, cutting-edge built-in to harness the power of AI. Offering unprecedented speed and intelligence with Copilot Plus PC, you're not keeping up with the times, you're setting the pace for what possible in personal computing. So basically that's kind of got me a little bit, excited. Okay, I am excited about it, but there's some things that I'm not excited. We're going to go through the positive side, and then we're going to go through the negative side, and then at the end I'll give you what I think. So it gives you the early access, latest features, tells you how to get it all set up, and how to do it, to go under where to get it, and we'll just keep moving on. And also too, it's got here what the newest recent updates are. You can go through it all. It's basically right here. So I'm going to do the additional changes and improvements just to show you all what's going to be going on. Windows setup experience. Let's go ahead and get this set here. The Windows setup experience refreshed with clean, modern design during setup OOBE, that's out-of-box experience, which needed to connect to network. There are no Wi-Fi drivers, so you'll be given an option to press install. That's if you're doing a fresh install about your network drivers. So that basically they'll give you installation so you can install your drivers so you can connect to the internet. So that's basically what that's talking about. So that way you get some connectivity to Microsoft in order to finish the process. Which, that brings it to the thing that I had a problem with on this motherboard, that they didn't do it, but I'm glad they did it this time, because now you have that option, so you don't have to go through the, go backwards trying to set up your Windows 11. So, I mean, to me, it's a plus. Some motherboards come with different set of network drivers, so this is supposed to eliminate some of that, and then they talk about the Windows backup, blah, blah, blah. Okay, now we're going to get past the blah, blah, blah. Okay, now let's go to this site right here, Windows 11 version 24H2, known issues and notifications. So now we're going to go through the bad side of it. Windows 11 24H2, known as Windows 11 2024 update, is now available. Latest version of Windows from versions 22H2 to 23H2. You can update and install. Known issues. Okay. This is about Chinese tax filing. If you're in the United States, you don't have to worry about it. USB devices that support ESCL scan protocol may not be discoverable. That's basically meaning your printer. So, selected games might stop responding on Windows 11 24H2, so make sure you know what kind of games they are before you go on. And that's confirmed. And these two right here have been resolved. The external Outlook may fail to start with Google Workspace Sync. It's resolved. Okay, now the date and time Windows settings may not permit users to change time zones, so it looks like it's being mitigated. Disk cleanup may incorrectly report the space available for cleanup. That's still being mitigated. Some ASUS device may fail to install Windows 11 24H2. You might get a blue screen that has been confirmed, but I don't see nothing about fixed. Cameras might cause some applications to become unresponsive. It's been confirmed. They do know about it. Safe exam browser applications might fail to open. They confirm that. Some devices using easy anti-cheat stop responding and receive blue screen. So that's part of your, if you go on Steam and the game's got anti-cheat, the game might stop responding and give you a blue screen. So if you notice that when you play Steam and then you all of a sudden get a blue screen as soon as you start it up, this is the reason why. It's because of Microsoft. They're still working on fixing the issues. Wallpaper customization applications might not work as expected. They confirm that. Asphalt 8, that sounds like a game from Steam, might periodically stop responding, and they confirm that as well. And they're talking about Chinese tax filings, has nothing to do with the people in the United States. So they go on about that, and they got a resolution for that. We don't need to know about that. Affected platforms gives you the detail of what they're doing and what they're fixing. So basically, with the Outlook, using it for Google Workspace, says after installing Windows 11 24H2 might experience issues while starting Microsoft Outlook. If you're using Google Workspace synchronization, you might observe Microsoft Outlook fails to start and you are unable to uninstall or reinstall Google Workspace. So if you got Google Workspace, then you might want to wait until we find out if they did a fix. So basically, it doesn't look like a fix just yet. And let's get to the resolution of it. It says devices which are encountering this issue will need to install the latest version of Google Workspace Sync prior to updating to Windows 11 24H2. This issue is resolved by installing the latest version of Google Workspace Sync. And they got the 4.3.68.0. If you still encounter this safeguard, hold 48 hours after updating to the latest version of the application. You'll need to contact Google Workspace support for more information on this resolution. Note, if you're trying to install Windows 11 24H2 through Media Creation Tool, you will be able to proceed with the installation after you follow the instructions on the UI that is presented during the installation. Okay, now we're in the November section. So, it gives you everything you need to know, like select games might stop responding. So, looks like that they're saying that the Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Assassin's Creed Origins, Assassin's Creed Odyssey are having the black screen issue. Let's see, are they doing any resolved titles? They still experience performance issues with these These right here, looks like Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, title update 1.2. Star Wars Outlaws, looks like they're having a problem with that. And basically, restart the device might expedite the process. 2 games have been lifted as of 12/5/04. These are the 2 games. So, looks like they haven't resolved everything about the games. And you got your time zone problems. It might not give you the time zones correctly, and so on. Asus devices. This is where I want to go about because I have an Asus graphics card, an Asus motherboard. So this might be, if you got anything that's probably with Asus, you might want to look into this. After attempting update to Windows 11 24H2, some Asus devices, specifically the X415KA and the X515KA models, might encounter issues where the system unable to complete the update. During the update process, a blue screen with an error and message cannot complete installation in 24H2. So what we're going to do is we're going to take and figure what these models are. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy it. I'm going to open up a new window so that way, and I'll type in Asus and just hit Control V and see what these devices are. So we're taking a look. We'll hit accept. We're looking. It doesn't see when you do this. It doesn't hurt to look to see what it's about. I'm always looking to see what the product is. What is causing the issue with this product, and it looks to me like it's a laptop. Okay, so this is basically a laptop. So these are laptop issues that they're having. So now we can go back, and we know these both are going to be laptops. I was making sure, just in case it was a desktop issue, that it was a motherboard issue. We always got to look and see if it's a motherboard issue or a desktop, a laptop issue, just to make sure that we get the right information for doing this. So, anybody with these kind of laptops right here with these numbers, these models, expect the issues to happen. But also, too, if they're talking about certain Asus devices, I would take a caution on all Asus motherboards just to be on the safe side, just in case applications don't work right. So, alrighty. Now we had a look at, you guys can go through these pages, and basically you can go to the Microsoft Learn Challenge. I don't need to put this in the description below. You guys can find this pretty easy. No sense of making a big deal about it. But we are going to have this little powwow. Now we got to the conclusion. Now, conclusions. Right now, from what I'm hearing, I'm going to close all this out so that way I can get blinded. Okay, my conclusion is this, guys, and I want you to hear me very carefully. 24H2 is not going to be ready just yet for prime time. I'm suggesting to all my viewers that they wait a couple months until they start fixing these issues. And when they got 90 to 100% of the issues fixed, then I would suggest to update to the 24H2. So, but with it having minor gaming problems with laptops, it could have problems with motherboards, it could have problems with graphics cards, And also, too, me hearing the fact of, with Microsoft's Copilot recall, that's going to be loaded into your system as well on the 24H2. hearing from Tom's Hardware and them saying that there's still a security issue with this, I'm still on the fence, and I'm still going to be waiting to see if there's a resolution to this, because I'm like everybody else. Recall is not something I'm going to need for my PC. I can discover everything that I've done on my PC without recall. I don't need it copying any of my personal information. I don't need it copying files. I don't need it doing anything. I've already got all my files in place. I don't need the computer to, tell me where I can find stuff. Okay? Now, if Microsoft wanted to do something inventive and made it better, then this recall doesn't make sense, especially if you go on the internet and you have a history file of every place you've been. Then what's the sense of recall? Since you can go through your history file and see where you were last and just click on it and boom, you're back on that page again. So there's no sense for the internet side of recall. Now, what you do on your computer, I don't think that is going to be wise neither. Because why would you, when you put everything in 2 folders, and also 2 going into, let's say, let me do this. I'm going to do this real quick. Okay. And I'm going to bring you guys up to this, and we're going to slip to the action screen real quick. Okay. Right here, you have recent folders. You have recent history of everything that you've done on your computer. Why would you need something else? This tells you everything you've been doing. From one line to the next, the last thing you did, so on and so forth. Why would you need recall to take snapshots of what you did when it's right there in front of you? So, this is the thing. I'm going to take you back to the main screen. You don't need it because it's all in front of you. But if you feel you need it, then what Microsoft should have done was put it as an option. They should have put it into the Microsoft Store and put it as free to give you the option if you want to install it in your PC or not. That would have been the smart thing to do. Just like they did with Microsoft Paint and, Notepad and all that, they added it into the Microsoft Store. They could have took this added feature, put it into the Microsoft Store, and let you have the decision to install it. And if you didn't want to install it, then you didn't have to. If they want to put any enhancements or anything on your PC, they should build it as you wanting to install it. They can notify you and say, hey, we made this new feature. It's in the Microsoft Store. If you want to install it, it's up to you. They could have done it that way. It would have been the smartest way to do something other than saying, hey, we're going to force it on your PC, and you got no other choice. I mean, they're already tracking you on telemetry. That's why the reason why people make local accounts is because they don't want a Microsoft account because they don't want to be tracked. They don't want their personal to be tracked. But you run into some problems having a local account too, because you don't get all the updates from Microsoft because they force your hand and say, well, if you're not logged into your account on Windows, then basically you're not going to get everything that we have to offer. Because they're doing a back check to make sure your computer is registered, basically. So it's got its good and it's got its bads. And if you don't have a product key and you're not registered with Microsoft, you can do a local account. You'll have that little watermark down at the bottom, and so be it. But knowing, things you lose is your personalization. That's basically what you lose if you don't have a product key. But if you do, then you get your personalizations and everything else, But you can get a CD key, a product key for $30, and on these websites that I'm not going to recommend because they're not sponsoring me, so I'm not going to recommend them. But you can go on other reviewers that they're being sponsored, and they'll give you a CD key, they'll give you a code so you can go get a cheap product key for Windows 11 or basically Windows 10. You can get one for Windows 10, upgrade to Windows 11, and go that route. if you don't want to get the Windows 11 key, you want to save a couple bucks, then get the Windows 10 key. Then, and if you want to go to Windows 11, go under your Windows Update and update from there. But you got to make sure that your CPU is compatible, your motherboard's compatible, because if not, if you don't got the TPM 2.0 for security, then and you don't got the security on in the BIOS, it's not going to update. Or if you're switching, and this is going to be another thing too that I'm going to bring to you guys' attention. If you're switching your M.2 SSD drives from one computer to the next, let's say you took and you were on an Intel computer that was 4th gen, and you go to take and put it into an AMD rig that's AM4 5000 series CPU, one caveat: you're going to have to take and rebuild all the drivers that are in for that AMD rig. Because if not, what it's going to do is that code for that 4th gen is going to carry over on that SSD, and it's going to alert Microsoft and say, Microsoft, hey, this is not a compatible PC. So you can run into a compatibility issue. Just to let you know that. I already had that happen with me. It's in the other PC that I built. I went from an Intel Xeon processor to the AMD Ryzen 5 5600G. It says my computer is incompatible. So what I have to do is I have to take and restore the whole operating system and save my files. You can do that through, hitting and going to the section to rebuild your drivers and your software. So you can rebuild it and then keep your files, and then it'll allow you to get all the updates and everything else you need for going from Windows 10 to Windows 11. It's not a disaster, and it's not the end of the world, and it doesn't take that much time, but it takes patience. So, but if you're going from an AMD processor that's above Zen 3 and you're transferring over to a computer that's got Zen 4, then you're not going to have a problem. I mean, the drivers will update, you'll still be able to get Windows updates, and you'll still be able to go from Windows 10 to Windows 11 with ease, because you're still within the boundaries of Microsoft. But you still have to keep in mind that you might have to rebuild the operating system and keep your files at the same time. So it is possible to do that, but if you don't want to waste your time, you just want to go from one to the next, then that's fine. You can do that. But the problem is this: it still carries the codes from your last PC and it carries it over to your next. So in order to fix that, you'll have to take and reinitialize rebuild the drivers for the operating system, which you can do through a system restore. So if you're looking to do a system restore, let's do this. I'll look it up for y'all. Okay, so accessibility. You can give me a moment, I'll find it. It's somewhere in here. I'm still used to Windows 10. I'm still trying to get used to Windows 11. Apps, personalization, Bluetooth and devices, system. Okay, so recovery. That's it, right there. Okay, so basically what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to, let me just take you there. What you're going to want to do is you want to go to system right here, and then what you want to do is you want to go to the recovery. So this way you can reset the PC, and this says choose to keep or remove your personal files and then reinstall Windows. So you can reset your PC here, and that way it'll put all the new drivers and everything else for your current system right there. But first, you can create a recovery drive down here at the bottom if you want. If you're not sure, create a recovery drive and then go from there. So, but it's not hard. It is not hard to restore your system. So you can restore your system from the recovery in the Windows settings. Or you can do recovery by hitting the shift button, and when you restart, it'll automatically, holding the shift button down, it'll automatically go into the recovery window, and you can go from there. And you can recover from there. You can recover it, inside Windows, however you decide. But that's if you want to start fresh without losing your files. That's a good way to go. So, not a lot of people talk about that. They just say, oh yeah, well, what you do is, why don't you just erase your whole drive and just start over again? What people don't understand is that, yeah, if you don't use your computer for your personal stuff, or you don't use a flash drive like this one, and store all your information on the flash drive, then you lose everything. You lose all your apps and everything else when you just start to zero. You got to put your games on and you got to put your games on a different drive, and then, you got to take all your personal information, make sure you get all the passwords and everything else, everything that's just going to drive you nuts. So if you're restoring your operating system back to scratch without removing your files, then basically you'll be fine. Some sites might require you to log back into them. As long as you got your passwords saved, that'll be perfect for you, so you don't lose anything. If you got an auto-save, when you go on your web browser, you got an auto-saved where you save your passwords into your account, then you should have no problem pulling up your passwords. Or if you keep on the flash drive, you keep your username and passwords of all the sites that you're in. That's a backup plan. Keep that in mind too. But anyway, guys, I'm just making this right here because right now I'm just telling you, I just now got the Windows 11 24H2 update. And from what I'm hearing and what I'm looking at right now, it's still got a lot of bug problems. And with me making videos, being a content creator, the last thing I want to do is update this program, this new update, and not be able to make videos. So until I see Microsoft fixing more things, that'll be a different story. But right now, I'm not going to install 24H2. I am going to wait until I feel that they've did their diligence and updated everything and got all the bugs fixed for 24H2. And also, too, I'm going to find out about recall to see if there's a good way to make sure it doesn't load into my system. I'll get you the answers for that. I'll be looking into that as well. So, but anyway, oh yeah, one thing. It was brought to my attention. Somebody asked me, am I going to do a Christmas build this year? I said I might, but I'm trying to get a hold of Intel because I did AMD Christmas build last year. I was going to get a hold of Intel about doing an Intel build this year. I'm going to see if they want to be a sponsor of the video on that one. If not, then I can see what parts I have here and then add a little bit to it and come up with a Christmas build for this year. So I'm working on that, and hopefully I'll be able to get a decent Christmas build this year. If not, then I'll take whatever I have and do a special video for y'all. So, but anyway, if you made it to the end of the video, please subscribe, hit the like button, and don't forget about your notification bell so you know when I post the next video. Until the next time and the next video, you know it is, and we'll see you on the next one.